It's Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. The Thunder here in Minneapolis to take on the Timberwolves. I've got Aaron Wiggins alongside me, and Aaron, you guys have an opportunity here on the road. You've won 3 road games in the playoffs so far. A chance here to continue to add to that tally. How do you feel coming into this game? And obviously, you guys have been able to bounce back from losses all season long.
Yeah, I feel good. Making sure we're prepared. Obviously, understand that they're going to try to tie the series and come out and be aggressive from the jump. So we got to make sure that we're ready to punch back and come out to a good start from the jump.
Yeah, so many of your teammates have just talked about that force, that intensity, tenacity that's going to be required here on the road. Not just the first 2 minutes of the game, but in waves over the course of the first half of the game. What are some keys for you all from even just like a technique, tactical standpoint?
Yeah, like you said, in waves, there's a game of runs. We're not going to shut them out, but we got to make sure that we're playing on our terms. We got to make sure that we're being physical, being aggressive, and not allowing them to be comfortable. So we do that on the defensive end. It'll allow us opportunities to get going on offense.
You guys, for years, have done an incredible job of getting to neutral, getting that 0-0 mindset, and winning the days in between games. Tell me about the last 48 hours or so, and how you guys have attacked your work and done what you always do, which is do it together as a team.
Yeah, smart guys. Obviously, a lot of film and a lot of individual prep just to make sure that we're ready for the next game. After every game, you got to get ready for the next one. So, next game mentality, getting prepped and ready to go.
There are a couple of tactical things that Minnesota has changed up a little bit over the course of the series. One of them is playing Anthony Edwards a little bit off the ball and trying to get him into different situations. How are you guys, maybe approaching some of the ways offensively that they're going to try to get Randall and Edwards the ball in advantageous situations?
Yeah, just making adjustments as a team, making sure we're all kind of on the same page when those guys have the ball keyed in, and doing what we're supposed to do to make sure that we can get stops and not allow them to be so comfortable.
And then on the other end, they're really trying to pack the paint in some ways, but then also extend out and pressure catches all the way to half court when they're sort of flowing in and out like that. What are some keys for you all just in terms of establishing positioning, being physical with force at the point of attack?
Yeah, I think just playing our brand of basketball, knowing we're at our best offensively and defensively when we're playing to our standards and the way that we've played all season, and we get back to doing that, we'll be fine.
You have a unique role in terms of your ability to impact the game with your shooting, with your creating off the bounce, and then also just your activity defensively. As you went through some of your individual work leading into this game, what are some keys in your mind?
A little bit of everything, like you said, just trying to go out there and help the team in whatever way I can. So that means making sure I'm prepped in every way, feeling good with shots, feeling good physically, so that I could be physical and aggressive defensively, and just a little bit, just understanding what's going on in the game. So when I get in and my number's called, I'm ready to go.
I know this is intense. It's a chess match here, but you're in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, how much fun is this as a competitor, as someone who's dreamed of being in some of these places? Just what's the fun factor of getting these opportunities like the one tonight?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. You can't take it for granted. A lot of guys don't get here in their career, so to be here, we're excited, but it's a lot more fun when you're winning, so we got to make sure we take care of business.
That's right. That's the goal here tonight. Good luck out there, Aaron.
Thank you.
All right, that's Aaron Wiggins. I'm Nick Gallo, and this is Thunder Basketball.
Dub, getting back to 0 has been one of this team's strengths just all season long. What's been kind of the vibe and the mentality of the group over the last 24 hours or so?
Just flushing the game, taking what we can from it and learning from it. You're not ready to play. That's kind of what happens. So just trying to get back to, like you said, that 0-0 mentality and coming out here understanding it's a new game, and they're still down in the series, so they're going to come out how they did, hungry, and we have to match that.
How much does it help that, a lot of these games in the playoffs, there's very little carryover. A lot of these games are their own separate entity.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've learned in my 2 years being in the playoffs is just every game is so unique. Down 2, down 1, tied. Like, every game is so different. I think that kind of helps you get back to that 0-0 mindset that we were talking about. You'll have aspects of the game that feel the same, but for the most part, everyone is so different, and there's such a level of focus that goes into each one that's different from the last game. So it's fun, and it allows you to kind of forget what's going on and just focus on the game.
Is it easier to flush? Are you talking about flushing? Is it easier to flush when nothing goes right as opposed to just like one thing that you're just like re-racking in your brain?
Yeah, for the most part. we're a team that don't make excuses either. So when you lose by that much, it makes you kind of want to learn more about yourself than it does like, if you think you play a really good game and you lose by 1. So I feel like they both have like their benefits of ups and downs. But yeah, it's easy to kind of flush that one and just be like, all right, that wasn't us. And obviously we got to come with it because they're a really good team and go from there.
You guys have done a great job bouncing back after a loss all season long. Do you kind of lean on that tonight to help you out?
I think it gives us confidence, but it's not something we like lean on, I think, per se. But it does give us confidence. It's something that we're good at and something that we, take pride in. And that's kind of how we approach the game with it.
Said it made you want to learn more about this team. What'd you guys learn about yourselves over these past couple of days?
Our ability to flush away a game. But I guess we'll see tonight what we've learned. But yeah, just coming out here with a good attitude and like ready to kind of get back at it.
And with how different these 3 games have been, like when you look at each one, especially the first 2, what are some of the common denominators there that with how volatile or different these games could be? Like, what are some of the ways you were able to fit in your way of winning, your method to win?
I think for both teams, it just comes down to like competing at a really high level and see who can do that for as much consistency as possible. That's been like the main thing with like us in the playoffs. And I think that's like, you always try and like match or exceed what your opponent's doing. And that kind of goes for both ways. So I would definitely say like how hard you can compete and how hard you can, pay attention to detail and try and do that for as long as you can for each game.
Yeah, we always hear about, and you're talking about every game being different. What is the different mental challenge when you're leading in a series?
Not getting complacent for sure. It's definitely easy to like go out there and like human nature is just, all right, well, we're up, so we can kind of relax. So definitely fighting human nature and coming out there with a mentality that you're losing.
Is that the last game that you guys were too relaxed?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say from like a playing bad standpoint or like, how good or bad you shoot it. It's just more like attention to detail, like not being physical enough, having mental lapses defensively. It's like stuff like that I think you don't try and do as a player. It just kind of like happens and it's human nature and you're always trying to like fight that.
What did you guys see on film yesterday that you feel correct? So I mean, just in a big picture sense, not specific.
Not like X's and O's. I think the best answer I can give you is just focusing on a lot of the little stuff that we've been good at all year.